A government prints paper. People starve. 5 years later, the currency is worthless. 10 years later, a dictator rules. This is France. 1789. The richest nation in Europe. Destroyed by its own money. The French Revolution wasn't about freedom. It was about bankruptcy. Before the guillotine, before the riots, there was debt. Mountains of it. France owed more than it earned in a year. Half of every tax went to pay interest. Not roads. Not soldiers. Just debt. And who paid? Not the rich. Nobles didn't pay taxes. Priests didn't pay taxes. Only peasants paid. The state didn't even collect taxes itself. It sold that right to private bidders. They squeezed the people and kept the extra. That was the system. It worked perfectly. For the rich. Then came the wars. France spent billions fighting Britain. Money it didn't have. By 1788, no one would lend anymore. Soldiers went unpaid. That year, grain harvests failed. Bread prices doubled overnight. Workers already spent 70% of income on food. Now bread was impossible. People didn't riot because of philosophy. They rioted because they were hungry. The revolution came. The king fell. But the new government had the same problem. No money. So they gambled. Seized church lands and printed new currency backed by it. Assignats. For 6 months it worked. Then they got greedy. They needed to pay armies. Print more. Fund the government. Print more. Stop riots. Print more. By 1793, billions of assignats flooded the streets. Far beyond the land backing them. Here's the trap. Once governments discover printing works, they can't stop. Every crisis demands action. Printing is instant. Reform takes years. So they print. And print. Each time saying, just this once. It's never just once. By 1795, assignats were worthless. People needed wheelbarrows of cash to buy bread. Your savings? Gone in months. Your wages? Lost half their value by evening. Farmers refused to sell food for worthless notes. Shops closed. Those that stayed open doubled prices daily. And France's enemies saw opportunity. Britain printed perfect counterfeit assignats and flooded France with them. Economic warfare. No army needed. Just destroy their money. The currency designed to liberate the people became the weapon that starved them. Inflation doesn't destroy everyone equally. Rich people own land, gold, assets. Those hold value. Poor people own wages and savings. Those evaporate. The government faced a choice: admit failure or find enemies. They chose enemies. Bakers raising prices? Executed. Farmers hoarding grain? Executed. Anyone questioning the currency? Executed. This is the pattern. Economic failure becomes political terror. Robespierre started as an idealist. When the assignats collapsed, he became a killer. Thousands died on the guillotine. Not for treason. For economic survival. The committee wasn't protecting anyone. It was protecting the lie that the system could still work. By 1794, tens of thousands were dead. The assignats were abandoned. Replaced by mandats, which collapsed immediately. You can't print trust. You can't execute your way to stability. When governments can't control money, they control people instead. This story repeats endlessly. Germany, 1923. Hyperinflation so brutal people burned cash for heat. Zimbabwe, 2008. Printed $100 trillion bill. It bought 3 eggs. Venezuela, 2016. Oil-rich nation reduced to barter. Same pattern every time. Borrow beyond capacity, print beyond reason, lose trust, collapse. And every government says, this time is different. It never is. Here's why it repeats. When debt becomes unpayable, governments face two options: default immediately or inflate slowly. Default is a heart attack. Inflation is cancer. Politicians always choose inflation. Because heart attacks end careers. Cancer can be blamed on someone else. External shocks. Speculators. Foreign interference. Never the printing press. The real danger is the delay. Printing doesn't kill currency overnight. Sometimes years pass. So they print, the economy seems stable, they print more. By the time inflation explodes, they're trapped. Stop printing and trigger recession. Keep printing and trigger hyperinflation. They keep printing until it's too late. Napoleon won France because he understood something revolutionaries missed. Without stable money, nothing else matters. In 1800, he created the Bank of France. Stopped the printing. Backed currency with metal, not promises. Trust returned. People accepted his rule. Not from love. From exhaustion. 10 years of chaos teaches a brutal lesson. Order beats freedom when freedom means starvation. This is the pattern after every currency collapse. Democracy doesn't rise. Dictators do. Because when people are desperate, they don't want debate. They want certainty. Napoleon gave them currency that worked. They gave him absolute power. Crowned him emperor. Weimar hyperinflation gave Germany Hitler. Russian collapse gave them Putin. Not because people are foolish. Because survival overrides principle. When money dies, everything built on it dies. And whoever promises to rebuild it wins. Look at the world today. Nations borrow trillions with no plan to repay. Central banks print endlessly, calling it stimulus. The mechanics haven't changed since France. Only the vocabulary. You can't print wealth. You can only print claims on wealth. When too many claims chase too few goods, the claims become worthless. The difference now is scale. When France collapsed, it was one nation. Today, the entire global system operates on the same principle. In 2008, the world faced collapse. Central banks printed. It worked. Crisis averted. So now, printing is the answer to everything. Pandemic? Print. Banks fail? Print. Recession? Print. Each time, it takes more printing to get the same effect. The dose increases. And no one knows where the limit is. But we know what happens when it breaks. France showed us. The middle class gets obliterated. Savings evaporate. Social trust collapses. Extremism rises. And whoever promises order wins. We're not there yet. But every crisis pushes closer. 3 things to understand. 1. The system runs on trust, not laws. When trust breaks, laws mean nothing. 2. Inflation is theft. A hidden tax that punishes savers and rewards debtors. 3. Financial collapse doesn't discriminate. It destroys left and right equally. The only survivors are those who see it coming. France had warnings. All ignored. Because fixing the problem required sacrifice. And those with power refused. Sound familiar? Currency failures don't happen overnight. They're slow. Gradual. Then one morning, the shelves are empty. The bank limits withdrawals. And the money everyone trusted yesterday is refused today. That's when whoever promises certainty wins. Even if that certainty comes at gunpoint. France didn't fall because of ideas. It fell because of arithmetic. The monarchy borrowed more than it could repay. The revolution printed more than it could back. The people paid for both. That's always the pattern. Those who create financial catastrophes rarely suffer them. Those who suffer them rarely created them. The king died on the guillotine. The bankers who lent him money? Most survived. The revolutionaries who printed assignats? They seized power. The peasants who just wanted bread? They starved through both regimes. History doesn't repeat exactly, but debt always does. And the consequences always fall on those least responsible. If you want to understand the future, study what breaks nations. It's never what they say. It's always what they owe.